This is the MTPredictor weekly update, and this is kind of where we were last week in last week's video with the Australian dollar, Japanese yen. This is the daily chart. We had that TS3, automatic TS3 setup that the MTPredictor software put on the chart for us there. Had the red reversal bar, and we had put the analysis on there. And at the time, actually, if I go forward here, last Sunday night, it had triggered to the short side, and we were looking at this particular pair because it tends to correlate with the S&P 500 positively, and typically will lead the S&P. So when we saw this go short here on the TS3, we also looked at the S&P and had the same setup there, and we'll look at that in a minute. And later on Monday, the S&P also followed suit and triggered short that same setup here, and you can see that we get the fall through down to the 100% initial risk area, where the you want to be moving your stop down to the entry. And at this point, if we look at some Elliott wave analysis, you see at the time we had this a 1, 2, 3 pattern that gave us the TS3, and it pulled back here in a potential wave 4 support. And no surprise, I guess on Friday we get the little bounce there in this support area, and so the potential now, if they don't take this area out, you see the targets down here. If this support holds, would be up to wave 5 and potentially a new high up there. You see that 50 had crossed the 200-day, and I showed you last week when that happens, it tends to, it's not a situation where we tend to get an immediate cross back up. So we'll have to see if this holds. Now we're coming into, I'll just bring up the ES here. Here was the TS3 and the ES. You see the same setup there. And put the analysis on that. And that too, same pattern there. Sold off for the 3 days. Got a bounce on Friday there. And so we'll see now if we do get a bounce. We've got the end of the quarter coming up here, and also the coming into earnings season next month. So markets sometimes like to rally into the earnings. So we'll have to watch that. And also on Friday, this is the 15-minute chart, the YM DP called the low for the day there, which was a nice turn. That coincided with what I showed you on the daily charts there in a little smaller time frame there. Now if we look at the daily, the YM here, we saw that it did come back above the 200-day, got up to the 50-day moving average before pulling back, closing back down. And on Friday, you see we did get a little bit of a reversal there. And if we look at the weekly chart, let's pull that up here. You can see we're still stuck in this channel from, this is the weekly 200 period and the 50 period. You see we came down, pretty much tested the 50 period on the weekly here, and we'll see now if we don't start heading back up and testing the 200-day area as we head into the earnings season. And also here, after the DP, obviously that DP was a good call on a swing high there, pull back. The advanced analysis, let's see, if I actually choose this DP swing high, it showed we had a clear 5 wave pattern here and a minimum wave 5 resistance along with that DP there. The typical wave 5 is up here. We can also project a decision point off this swing high here. So maybe any overshoots, if they do come back up here, any overshoots maybe into above the 200 period on the weekly into the decision point resistance area. That sits around 11, almost 11,400. So, and of course, if they can't, if we do start closing below the weekly 50 period, then there may be more downside. You can see the ADX here just kind of confirmed, still on a sell signal there. So we'll kind of follow this on the weekly, little bigger time frame, just to give us a little bigger perspective. Okay, also let's just kind of revisit gold. We had that decision point there. I put the Elliott wave analysis on there. We do have wave 3 down to wave 4 here, support. And let's see if we can't project the wave. I can come and project the wave 5 up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see that gives us an area where we can expect the minimum wave 5 resistance and the typical wave 5 resistance up here. If gold does take out this high, then we should test, we can test these areas. So again, we're still in this weekly channel here, and we'll see what the end of the quarter here and earnings season next month brings us. And I hope that's helpful. We'll do it again next week.